Shall we begin?
Bridge demands and expects you to let go of everything you have lived for.
How is the tour going so far?
It's going very, very well. More people than last year, and the fans seem to like very much the new songs from Endure and Survive album. So it's going very well.
Endure and Survive is the second part of the story of William Black. Can you tell us what is it about?
The first part of the story is Infinite Entanglement. That is at the beginning of a journey of 1,000 years. And in that story, then William Black finds out that he has a machine body. This story, Endure and Survive, is the end of the journey of 1,000 years. He is across the galaxy, close to a new Earth-like planet. It is the story of surviving that journey of 1,000 years and what happens next.
In this album there are fast songs, slow songs. Have you adapted the music to the lyrics or the lyrics to the music?
It's a thing that we try and get everything together as one piece. So we come up with the songs and try to find the lyric that makes sense with the music. So if we have a fast idea, which of the lyrics and which part of the story would be reflected and make sense as a fast idea, and if it is a slow idea, then perhaps the lyric is there already or the melody is there. What music will go with that? So in every aspect, thinking of it from an emotional point of view, how do we portray and tell the story of the emotions so that if English is not your first language, you still have the sense of what the emotion of the song is.
How did you come up with the idea of making 3 albums based on this story?
The first idea was to make one concept album to follow on from my 10th Dimension album, but when we saw how many songs we got, we had too many for one album and there was no time to record it. And as I started to look at the lyrics and the songs, that's when I had the idea that it was 3 albums, that it was a story in 3 parts. It begins with leaving home. It is the journey and then it is the arrival. And once we had that, it took a lot of confidence to say, right, we'll record 3 albums, but I want to do it this way. Each album comes out on the 1st of March or around the 1st of March, and we tour each year with it. I don't want to wait and say, oh, it's not ready, it might be this. I don't like that. So we already had some songs for the second one, and as we were writing the second one, some ideas came up for the third one, and there are some ideas which we wrote for the first one which will be on the third one, because this idea only makes sense to be there at the end. So it was an accident really, but once I looked at it, then it's too big. And there are times for most artists when you don't know if you'll even be able to afford to make another album. And it was a lot of confidence that we said, right, we start this and then we do that and then we do that. And we hope that we have the support of my fans that they will like the idea of 3 albums, 1 each year, and we see what happens. And I'm very, very lucky to have incredible support from my fans around the world, that they all pre-ordered number 1, Infinite Entanglement, then they pre-ordered number 2, Endure and Survive, so we could make that, and I hope they like that and that we can make number 3.
So you have planned the third part.
It was planned at the first part. It was as soon as we had the idea for that it was 3 albums, it was planned the 1st of March every year.
Last year you told us you were writing a book about the story of Infinite Entanglement.
It is the story
yes,
of the whole of the 3 albums. It is the story. The 3 albums are based on the story that I'm writing.
We heard something about a video game. What can you tell us about these projects?
The book I'm writing while I'm on tour or finding times around the studio, it won't come out until the 3 albums are finished. And then after the book, then comes the game. A lot of the graphics from the game are used in the artwork for the album.
For this project you counted on the band Absolva as backing band. How did they influence you?
Well, they're very patient, and I have a very specific idea of how the story should go and the kind of music that I want to tell that story with. And they've really worked very, very hard with me and very closely to make sure we have the best possible music that we can have to express each idea. And it is a lot of hours of work, days, very long days of work, to make sure it's the absolute best that we can possibly have. So it has been really, really nice to work with people with such a professional attitude.
Will you have the same team of engineers, producers to record the next part in order to make it sound similar to the others?
Yes, everything is planned to be 3. So from the first one to the third one, it is in the same studio with the same engineer, with the same singers and the same musicians.
You have released your last albums with your own brand, Blaze Bayley Recordings. Have you thought on producing other bands, or is it focused on releasing your own music?
There is no time to produce other bands, and there is no money. I am very, very small. I'm an underground cult artist with just a few thousand fans around the world. I'm not in mainstream media. I'm only on social media, and sometimes I'm in magazines. But mostly the way that people find out about me is through friends and on social media, through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. This is the way that people find out, and they hear from friends. Have you seen Blaze Bayley from Maiden? And many people don't even know me from Maiden. It's such a long time ago. So I'm not a part of that. I'm independent, and that independence gives me a certain degree of freedom. It's a responsibility, but it's also a certain degree of freedom, and there is just no time. If I had a health problem and I couldn't go on tour, then I probably would produce other bands.
Recently, you asked the fans on Facebook to record the song Eating Lies on the Shows, to make a video with these images as you did with Calling You Home and 1,000 Years. Is it a way to make the fans take part in this story, make them feel closer to you?
My fans are part of my journey, that's it. It's different to other bands. So my fans support me directly. If you are a fan of another band, then you give the money to the record company, and the record company gives a little bit of money to the band, or they promote the band, or that's it, or you have to work a day job in between shows and in between tours. But my fans support me directly. I'm living my dream and my fans are a part of that. So I like to have my fans in my video, and we always plan to do 3 videos and then whatever else we have time for. So the first is the title track of the album, then something else, a faster song, and then while we're on tour, a video with the fans. And for me, it's a nice memory of the tour, of the different things that we do.
Going back to the last tour, you recorded a show in Sweden playing the whole Infinite Entanglement album. How was the experience? Any release date?
It was a very good thing. It was a lot of fun to do it. It won't be released as a regular DVD because there were a lot of problems with the lighting and with the recording. So that recording will be as part of the bonus package for album 3. So if you order the platinum edition of album 3, you will get that DVD of that event included in that package. But it wasn't good enough to say, right, this is a DVD and we charge you €20 for it. It's just not. And I don't want people who aren't fans, who don't know me, to have that and think that's the normal Blaze Bayley. But people who are already fans and pre-order, then they know what I'm like. They know what my regular show is like, and for them it's very interesting. So that's how we're going to use it. It was a lot of fun that weekend, but it was a lot of work as well.
This is your last date in Spain. Did you enjoy the shows here? What would you say to your Spanish fans?
Well, it's not my last date. It's my first of many, because the tour has gone very well. We love to come here, we love to play in this region, and everything that has happened so far says that we should be able to come back next year. So I hope that this is one of many shows that we will do, and everywhere that we've played, we'd like to come back with part 3. So I hope it's one of many. I love playing here. When I was with Iron Maiden, we did so many shows here. It was absolutely fantastic. And when I supported Halloween, had great reaction. But since then, I haven't had many shows here, and it's been heartbreaking, really, because I love to come here so much and see the Spanish fans are incredible. So now we hope that things are moving on and things are getting just a little bit bigger, that we hope we can come every year now.
Anything else you want to add?
No, just a huge thank you to all of my fans in the region. Thank you very much for your support, and I hope that you will enjoy the Endure and Survive album, and that you will come and see us next year.
Thank you very much.
Okay.